What if I told you that upgrading your car, apartment, or daily coffee routine could quietly cost you millions of dollars over your lifetime? Well, that's something I truly believe in and something I struggle with a lot. And today I wanted to break down something called lifestyle creep, how it sneaks up on you, why it feels so normal, and how it can sabotage and truly ruin your long term financial freedom. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, we talk about building wealth intentionally and realistically. And I wanted to talk about a topic that I struggle with personally a lot, and I have struggled with a lot in the past. I wanted to explain it and then give you guys real world examples of how I've messed up and give you real world numbers to where I could have been if I didn't fall into lifestyle creep. So, for those of you who are not aware, lifestyle creep is what happens when you start making more money, whether that's a raise, a promotion, a new job. Instead of investing the extra, so the new money, you start spending more. You get nicer apartments, new clothes, you start eating out more, upgrade your phone, upgrade your car, etc. And it's not necessarily about spending money, it's about letting your spending rise faster than your income can afford you. And the worst part is that a lot of us tell ourselves we deserve it. We've worked hard, so we convince ourselves you can afford this right now. But that mindset will slowly trade your freedom later for comfort now. Now, I don't want you guys to get this misconstrued. I definitely 100% believe in paying yourself first. You know, if you get a new raise or you get a promotion and you want to buy yourself something nice or you want to treat yourself to a nice dinner. I'm into watches. I always tell myself when I get promoted, I'm going to buy myself a nice watch. That's okay. One purchase is okay. But it's the slowly upgrading everything around you when your your income can't afford those realities. So I wanted to give you guys a few real world examples, one kind of general one, and then two examples that I've personally messed up on this a lot. So, I don't make a lot of money, but let's just say for simplicity's sake, right? You make $70,000 a year, all right? That'd be awesome. I wish I made that much money. I make like $30,000 a year, but let's say I make $70,000 a year, and I get a raise to $85,000. So that's $15,000 raise. That's awesome. Well, instead of saving and investing that $15,000 difference, I'm going to decide to go buy a new car, or I'm going to go get a new couch, or I'm going to go get a more expensive apartment. I'm going to go out more, eat out 3 times a week. Totally normal, right? Everyone else around you is doing it. Other people in the office are doing it, whatever. But zoom out. If we invest $500 a month of that raise into an index fund like VU that returns an average 8% a year, after 10 years, we'll have $91,000. After 20 years, we'll have $275,000. And after 3 years, we'll have over $680,000. That's almost $700,000 just from keeping your lifestyle the same and investing the rest. Now, this is a lot easier said than done. So, for example, I struggled with this a lot, and I still struggle with it. My thing when I was working at my full-time job was cars, right? Everyone around me loved cars. I still love cars, and I was really big into the car scene, right? So what I did was, when I got my first promotion to full-time, when I went part-time to full-time, I was driving a 2016 Hyundai Veloster. I immediately wanted to get something cooler, faster, more fun, so I started looking for cars, and I got a 2017 Subaru WRX. After taxes, I think I paid $26,000. I financed it for 7 years, and my monthly payment was $443. This was around 2018, right? So I felt like the cool kid on the block. I was 18 years old, driving a Subaru WRX, and now I wanted to upgrade it. And I can't tell you the exact number right now, but if I add up the tuning, the wheels I had, the cosmetics, the carbon fiber, the bucket seats, I went full blown with this car, right? I probably put around $12,000 into that car. from start to finish. So I went on my phone, right? And I found a picture from June 27th, 2019, from when my Subaru WRX was getting tuned at a place that had it on the dyno. So if those of you who are not familiar, you put a car on the dyno, it tells you how much horsepower you're making, get it tuned, right? Let's just say at that point, I had about $10,000 invested into the Subaru WRX. June 27th, 2019, VU, the ETF, closed at $276. So if I took that $10,000 and put it into VU, right now, my $10,000 would be worth $20,472. Let's say I wanted to put it into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, June 27th, 2019, closed at $11,000. If I took that $10,000 I put into Bitcoin, I'd have $95,000 right now. And the worst part is after I did all of that to the Subaru, I sold it with all the upgrades on it. And if for those of you who know about cars, when I sold it, I lost all my money on it completely. But I still didn't learn my lesson. I got another raise, sold the Subaru. I bought a BMW 340i 2017 with the super motor in it, the B58. That's what I wanted. So not only did I lose the money on the Subaru, but I bought the BMW. I put a big turbo on it. I put on air suspension. I probably put around $15,000 into that car. But let's just use that $10,000 for simplicity's sake. So I have a picture of my BMW from November 24th, 2020. VU closed at $328. If I put $10,000 into it, I would have $16,707. Also, Bitcoin at the time closed at $19,000. If I invested that $10,000, I would have about $55,000 right now. So the point I'm trying to make is, and then, to put the cherry on top, when I sold the BMW, I sold it with all the upgrades on it, lost all my money on it too. And when I'm saying I lost all my money is when I sold it for, you don't make your money back on the upgrades. All that $15,000 I put into the car, I never saw that back. That never came back into my pocket because upgrades actually devalue your car in the long run. Anyway, my whole point is, I have messed up big time when it comes to lifestyle creep. Every single time I get a raise, I buy a new car because that's my vice, right? I don't drink, I don't go out, I just like cars, right? So every time I get paid, I buy a new car. And I really had to learn my lesson because once I started getting into this whole investing thing, I realized, like, man, I really wasted a lot of investing potential back then. When I had the BMW, that was during COVID. If I just stopped upgrading the BMW and started investing my money, I would have so much return right now. It would be insane. And I truly feel like I wasted a lot of time, a lot of financial freedom by doing that. And I always, like, me and my girlfriend always talk about it. You always can look back and say, you should have done this and I could have done this. So I don't hold myself to it. I don't think I don't depress myself over it because it's almost one of those things where it's like, at the time I was having fun. I had my fun with the car. I was doing what I thought was right. I didn't know much about investing. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, man, I could have invested all that money. I could have bought a beater car and I could have invested those tens of thousands of dollars that I put into these materialistic cars, and I would have probably a $200,000 portfolio right now. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time, and I can't hold myself to that. So if you guys have ever fallen into lifestyle creep, don't hold yourself against it. Now now I look back on it, I think it's a great learning lesson. I know how to treat money now. I know what to put my money into. And once again, it was just a learning lesson. You gotta learn from it, learn from your mistakes, and just get better in the future. So my whole point is, it's still something I struggle with. I still think about, if I get a raise, maybe I can buy this car or that. But at the end of the day, you don't want to keep inflating your lifestyle. And the reason lifestyle creep is so dangerous is because it doesn't feel like a bad decision at the time. Like I just told you guys with my car. When I was upgrading my cars, and I felt like I was doing the right thing. I didn't think it was a bad decision. I wasn't looking at investments. I didn't know anything about investing, so I thought I was doing the right thing. Obviously, I'm not buying a yacht, but I'm slowly upgrading my car. I'm slowly upgrading my lifestyle. Maybe I'm buying a watch. Maybe I'm buying some new technology, upgrading my PC. Maybe you're doing the $5 coffee instead of making it at home because you got a raise, or You were looking at a $500 couch and now you're going to buy a $2,000 couch, or you start adding more monthly subscriptions because you can afford it, or you start eating out more. The problem is, over time, these choices start to stack, and these expenses build upon each other to the point where you don't even realize it because it happens so organically and it happens so naturally. And that's what costs you money in the long run. And over the years, the compound interest of short-term satisfaction really builds up. So, this is the next part is I want to talk about kind of what I would do, right? What I plan to do now instead of lifestyle creep. And kind of like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm not telling you guys to not treat yourselves. If you watched a video previously, I said how I went, and it was me and my girlfriend's anniversary, and it was a very expensive dinner. But once again, it was a one-time thing. It was our anniversary. I felt like it was okay. When I get promoted, I do want to buy myself a nice watch, but it'll be one watch that I'll buy. My lifestyle won't change. I just want to reward myself for working hard, But once again, I'll do it smartly. It'll be in my budget. I have already started budgeting for it, so you just have to do it smartly and not let things just compound over time without you realizing it. So when it comes to spending, you just want to spend with intention. And here's how I personally fight lifestyle creep. So when I get a raise, the first thing I do is I increase my investments. So in my opinion, the easiest way to do this is with your 401k. So for example, when I got my last raise, which was about 6 months ago, I was contributing 6% to my 401k. I got a 4% raise. The first thing I did was I took my 6% and I bumped it up to 7% in my 401k. It's not a lot, but at least I'm investing more now. So that would be my first thing that I would do. And that's what I plan to do if I get my promotion or if I get a raise from here on out, is automatically increase my investments. That's the first thing I'll do before I buy anything. Now, this one's controversial, but if you can live like you're actually living paycheck to paycheck, even if you're not, that will help you out in the long run because you'll almost automatically budget. I know not a lot of people like strict budgets, but if you can live almost like you're quote unquote broke and you can save that money or invest that money, it'll start to stack up a lot. Next is I treat freedom, financial freedom, like a flex. And what I mean by that is when it comes to financial freedom, I feel like in my age group specifically, not a lot of people talk about it because a lot of people see it as something that happens in your retirement years. But the thing is, if I can be grounded and I can treat my money smart for the next 10 years, and I have financial freedom in my mid-30s, and everyone else is catching up and they won't see it till they're 60, at that point, I would treat that as a flex. So that's what I plan to do. Next, I've already talked about this a lot. It's my favorite thing to do, but is automatic contributions, automatic investments. Whether that's to your Roth IRA, whether that's to your individual brokerage account, dollar cost averaging, buying every day without having to press any buttons, just letting it do work for you is one of the best things you can do. Because as long as you have automatic contributions going, you have no excuses to not invest that day because it automatically does it for you. So I still enjoy my life. I just choose when and how I personally like to upgrade my life. So when it comes to the freedom trade-off, right? The truth is, every dollar that you upgrade in your life today, right? So every dollar you use to upgrade your life right now is not going to work for you tomorrow. So that dollar that you use to upgrade your car, that's not going to work for you tomorrow. Your car's going to depreciate tomorrow. So if you're serious about financial independence, early retirement, freedom to travel, peace of mind, low stress, do whatever you want, then every raise and every bonus and every extra dollar is a chance to buy time and not things. And once again, I just want to reiterate this because I don't want to sound like a negative person or someone who's telling you to not treat yourself. If you have the money and you get a raise and you're smart with your money and you budget properly and you avoid lifestyle creep, but you want to reward yourself, whether that's a materialistic item or investing in yourself, by all means do it. You always want to pay yourself first. You don't want to be someone who like never does anything because all they want to do is get to financial freedom. But you just need to be more cognizant about it, because I've struggled with lifestyle creep a lot. And a lot of the times too, it can be the surrounding people around you. You know, when your friend gets a raise and they get a new car, you think, oh man, when I get a raise, I can't wait to get a new car. Me and my friend will both have new cars. And a lot of times it's blocking out the noise, staying true to your plan. That's why I mentioned in other videos, when you start investing, you always need to have a plan and stick to your plan. Because if you have that plan and stick to that plan, no matter how much of a raise I get, I know I can fall back on my plan. So if I got a 100% raise tomorrow, I still have my investment plan. I'll incorporate that 100% raise into my investment plan. And then anything else I have left on the side, I can treat myself with, whether that's a nice dinner or a new watch or whatever it might be. So lifestyle creep's normal. I'm sure you've done it before. I have definitely done it before, especially with cars. And once again, I still think about it all the time. I can't beat myself up over it because I thought I was doing the right thing. But man, I always think like, imagine if I took that $10,000 I spent on a turbo kit and air suspension and I put it into Bitcoin. I'd have $100,000 right now. I wouldn't even know what to do with that type of money, you know? But if you can, try to resist it. Even if you can resist it just a little, it will set you apart financially, because I can guarantee you about 95% of the people I know fall into lifestyle creep. I don't want to obviously expose anybody, but one person I did work with, every single raise, and he would show me his money. I don't know why he wanted to show me his money, but he show me his money. Every single raise, this dude would buy a new car, and it would be a sick car. Or he would buy a new Rolex, right? He was making great money. And between me and you and the internet, because I'm posting this on YouTube, so it's between all of us, so everyone knows now, he was living paycheck to paycheck. And this dude was pulling in over $200,000 a year. And his finances were worse off than mine. And I was making $19.75. But he was big into lifestyle creep. He wanted to prove to everyone how much money he had. He wanted to flex and show off his fancy things and show off his watches and his cars. And what that led him to is terrible, terrible finances, living paycheck to paycheck, making $200,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck because of lifestyle creep. So, and I don't hate on him for it. It happens to everyone, but you just have to be cognizant about it. Think about if he would buy a modest car, and maybe, yeah, you can buy yourself one Rolex, go for it. You don't need 5, and invested the rest. This dude could retire probably in the next 5 years, but he falls into lifestyle creep. And like I said, it happens to everybody. So if you guys like this video, let me know what you think. Ask yourself, are you upgrading your lifestyle or are you upgrading your freedom? Let me know if you have fell into lifestyle creep and kind of what situations you've been through when you've gotten a new raise. Or if you are able to avoid lifestyle creep, let me know how you do it. What do you do when you get a new raise or a new promotion? So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, drop a comment, and I hope you guys have a good day. See ya.